Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
Good evening, Stephen.
Good evening. How are you? Welcome.
I'm
to Tuesday
good.
show with no guests, from what it looks like.
I guess not. Since we don't have a guest this evening, we can sit on here. We'll chat for a few minutes and see if they show up. If they don't, I will bid you adieu and let you.
It sounds like a deal.
Let you go do what? Yeah. Hey, I do want to put a shout out though for tonight. Tonight is my mom, Linda Holland's 79th birthday. And I would like to wish my mom the very happiest of birthdays. Wish I could be there. Wish I could be there with you tonight, Mom. But I'm stuck here in Kentucky. But I know that you're out. And I saw the picture. Y'all are sitting at a bar having a Peroni.
That's a good celebration.
And eating some good Italian food. So y'all have fun. So did you watch the Rangers Islanders game the other day?
Oh no, I'm not really into hockey that much. I'll occasionally watch football. I'll watch my NASCAR. We're not into hockey or anything.
I'm a big fan of NASCAR, and it looks like my camera has locked up.
So basically, here at the MisFitNation, we're having a free-for-all tonight. No guest, no boss. So we're just gonna.
Yeah, this could get dang. Yeah, it's 7:05. We better shut this down.
That's all 2 minutes away.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because sooner or later, Rich will come in and say, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah, he will. He will. He was. I talked to him a few minutes ago. He was still out in the woods.
Out in the woods, leaving you and I alone again.
But well, hey, you know, I was thinking we were going to make it 2 for 2 on a Tuesday, but it seems like the curse hit us. So
yes, it's a Tuesday curse.
I have my my female Corso. She's trying to get up. Whoa.
She's here.
Okay. Well, hey. Tell you what, we're going to get started here. Our guest has shown up. Right now, we're going to welcome to the show Miss Dominika Staniewicz. She is a neuroencoding specialist. Very few of them in the world, and she does holistic life coaching, and she is a licensed brain coach. So, without any further ado, Miss Dominika, take it away.
Hello. How are you, gentlemen? How are you doing? I am so sorry I couldn't find the link. I got so many emails from you, but none of them had a link, and then I found one. So I'm here, and so please accept my apology for the 4-minute delay.
Well, thanks for
That's quite all right.
So how can I support you? Do you have any questions? Would you like to know anything? Because there are so many things we can talk about. What would best serve you? What would you like
Well,
to?
I gave a short bio and just told a few things. Just tell us and our guests, what got us here today. What do you do? What do you? I did say that you are one of the few elite neuroencoding specialists in the world, and you are a licensed brain coach, and that's about as far as I got. So I'll let you fill in the blanks.
Okay, fantastic. Well, hello everybody, and I'm so excited to be the guest. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure. So what is a brain coach? Probably most people go, what the heck is that? Like what? So if you ever heard of Dr. Amen and his work, he works with all our athletes, especially NFL athletes, and we fix their brains basically after they've been traumatized. They have been hit over and over and over again, and there are little tiny microaggressions on the brain. And we're able, with the knowledge we have, to rewire your brain, to get rid of anxiety, to get rid of aggression, to get rid of fear of failure, to get rid of overwhelm, to get rid of all other very typical feelings that influence, but they all come from the brain. They all come literally from the brain. It's not your emotions, because your emotions are even a product of wiring of your brain and the chemicals attached to the feelings. Neuroencoding, it is something that Dr. Joseph McClendon III, who's a neuropsychologist, because Dr. Amen is a neuropsychiatrist, created, and it is use of your whole body and knowledge about the brain and neuroplasticity to rewire your brain so it works for you the way you want it to, and it doesn't prevent you from achieving success, or you can get rid of past emotions, past feelings, trauma without medication. We can also recreate your life towards ADHD if you are actually diagnosed and you actually have it, because very often people self-diagnose and go, oh, I got ADHD. Well, let's chill with that diagnosis. Quite often you don't have an ADHD, your brain is not wired properly. And the symptoms can be the same, but the reasons are very different. So what we do, we're just this person between when you go to a doctor and they go, I want to put you on medication, and go, well, I want to try something first different before you put me on meds. Or we're the people who you go, okay, I've been on medication for 2-3 years for antidepressants, anxiety. I would like to see if there's a way I can get off medication. So we don't take you off medication as brain coaches or neuroencoding specialists. We work with your doctor, but we work with you until you create new neural pathways, new behaviors, and your brain is optimized and it works the way it's supposed to work. We look at your blood work, if you're having enough of neurotransmitters in your gut, so your brain has the building blocks to change. And what we do, we help you get off that medication with your doctor. And very often, sometimes we do also find that we need to send you to a doctor to go on medication because our approach is not strong enough at this moment in time. So for example, if you're experiencing bipolar, expression of you're in mania, I'm not the person to go to. If you're experiencing schizophrenia, I'm not the person to go to. I'll find you a great psychiatrist to work with you, and then you can work with me so we can kind of simmer down all the things that happen in your brain and make you feel a certain way or hear things or see things. So it's a very specific place where you admire modern medicine as well as psychology, as well as neuroscience, and also everything that we now know that's scientifically proven, that's natural, that can support how you function. And that includes changing your behaviors, daily habits, what you eat, how you eat, time you sleep. All of that is taken into consideration in what I do.
Oh, that's amazing. Now you work with helping people with stress and say anxiety, and how do we work with stuff like that?
Well, that's a great question. Imagine you could look at yourself as a whole body, right? Your brain is connected to everything. And the truth is that when we look at anxiety in the brain, there are certain areas in your brain that are overreacting or underperforming. It is also a habit that you've created that is not your fault that you've created. And that's very important to remember, because we all experience different things and it's not our fault that they happen, but it is our responsibility the moment we recognize them to fix them. So a lot of things you believe, you had no doing in what you believe in and how your brain was formed, because a lot of things happen by the age of 7 without you even knowing that it's happening. And it's happening on a daily basis. I don't know if you ever had an experience, you went to a friend and you spent a lot of time and out of the blue, you notice that you start using their vocabulary or their expressions and you're like, oh, I picked that up. How did that happen? It is something that just happens. And our job is to be aware and then catch it. If it's, preventing us from getting somewhere, change it. If it's not, leave it alone. If it's working for you, it's working for you. So with anxiety and anger, it is usually coming with few places in your brain, like prefrontal cortex that's not working very well. And that is when you spill out things and you say, and then you later on regret it. It doesn't have the stop. So we work with prefrontal cortex. Maybe you need hyperbaric oxygenating chamber that will oxygenate that area of your brain. There's specific exercises as well as regular conversations and tasks you do on a daily basis. There are supplements that will influence, for example, your anterior cingulate and basal ganglia. There's parts of your brain that are responsible for gear shifting. So when you get stuck, right, and you get then all worked up, it is assigning meaning to events, and that's from psychology, from neuroscience as well. But because our body is directly connected to our state, we're also using our body. So imagine you see somebody on the street that's depressed. How the heck do you know they're depressed? I mean, you haven't never spoken to them and you know they're not okay. You just know. It is nothing else but their body that is giving you the signals. There's a certain way we speak. There's a certain way we talk. There's a certain way we act, we move when we're in a certain state. And so is our state when we're excited, happy, or angry. And if we recognize how our brain directs our body, we can break the chain when it's happening and we can input new behaviors at the beginning. It's not easy, right? It's not like, you're going to have a chat and we're going to all do it. But it is possible to rewire your brain so your brain recognizes that something is starting to happen and you then learn techniques to stop it, prevent from progressing. And that's part of it. Anxiety and depression are quite, similar and complicated at the same time because they can derive from different areas. So for example, people with anxiety and anger, when we look at blood work, we do look at your iron, magnesium, potassium, and as well as, iron and ferritin. Why? Because those are neurotransmitters responsible for how you react. And if you don't have enough of them, not in the norm, but in the optimum, you'll be more prone to react aggressively, get angry, get anxious. So that's one of the things we can look at. So we look at the whole picture and then we start working with certain things. Now, if you have, for example, inflammation, which comes out in your blood work, in your body, I don't work with that. I'm a brain coach, but I know doctors to send you to so you can get rid of inflammation, because in plenty of studies, we have proven that inflammation in your gut and in your body is directly related to depression, anxiety, and ADHD. Literally, you can decrease the symptoms just by working on the inflammation in your body. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a person who studied medicine, but there are phenomenal doctors out there who can help you out with that, from food to supplements to changing whatever they do. It works. And that really works for your brain, because when your brain is busy with fighting inflammation and keeping you alive, it's really just running on autopilot. Notice that the only time when you're driving to work, what do? Do you really think about where you're going to get off? No, you just drive. You change lanes without thinking about it. You don't analyze. It just happens. And then you get off.
I tell everybody the car drives itself. I
Exactly.
just get it and it knows where it's going.
Exactly. And that's kind of your whole life, actually, because you never stop to think how you're putting on glasses when you're putting on glasses, which hand you're using to drink. Because if you would have to analyze that, your brain will go ballistic. Our brains are designed to optimize everything they can. How you drink, how you walk, how you talk, how you react, how you look, how you smile, everything is optimized. Why? Because it is always conserving energy in case you will be in danger. And as we know, we have a lot of lions roaming our streets right now, and Black Panthers, and there are a lot of things happening on daily basis that our brain, is believes to need to protect us from. And what happens is when it does that, you are not even aware how many things you're doing that are not serving you. And first step in anything when it comes to brain coaching and neuroencoding, it is separating this huge mold that your brain created so it can optimize and use less energy. Because imagine if you would have to, now you're drinking, Jake, some water probably or something. Imagine you would have to, every time you want to drink something, go, okay,
Yes.
now I'm going to drink. Then I'm going to send my hand out. Then I'm going to grab the cup. Then I'm going to pull it to my mouth. Then I'm going to pour it over. Then I'm going to open my mouth. Then I'm going to swallow. You would go absolutely crazy. That behavior is optimized, but so is everything else. And some of those things are great, but some of those things are not serving us. And anxiety, depressions is a lot of that. Now, of course, you can have different reasons, and sometimes there are medical reasons for those. But that's where I come in before we go into typical treating you with medication. We go through everything we can go to and go, well, no, you do need medication. You do need a doctor. You do need to get treated for this, because this is something more than just what is in the realm of brain coaching, neuroencoding, and regular science, blood work, things that I can work with. And it does happen once in a while that, people come to me and they go, I'm depressed. I have anxiety. I'm like, okay. So before we start working together, can you do me a favor and do that blood work? And I look at their blood work, not being a doctor, but being trained in those specific things for your brain. And I'm like, can I ask you a favor? I'm not a doctor, and you can go to your doctor and check. But these are not optimum. So that means those nutrients are not getting to your brain. Would it be possible that you could get them into those ranges? And again, those ranges are recommended by Dr. Amen. And they go, yeah, I can. And everything is over the counter. There's no medication involved. You can go to a store and buy it. Well, the beautiful thing about it is that about 80% of those people come back to me later and go, well, I'm pretty good. I actually don't have anxiety. I'm not depressed. I'm like, oh, okay.
It happens.
So it happens, and it's okay. It's okay, because our body is a full organism. And that's why coaches are necessary, life coaches, brain coaches, people working with trauma, because people from outside, well-trained, can help you kind of get to the dream life that you have and the way you want to function without the struggle that you're like, what am I going to do? It's like, I have two coaches. I have one for business. I have one for private. And, I gave him a call. We had our session, and I'm like, I found that when I'm speaking in public and I'm on the same level with people, I have no anxiety, no stress, nothing, no stage fright. The moment the stage is above people, I am stressed out for about 7 minutes. I'm like, that's ridiculous, especially that I have a talk coming up for 20 minutes. If I'm going to be stressed for 7 minutes out of 20, that's like half of it. That doesn't make any sense. I'm like, help. I have all the tools. I don't know how to fix this. So he talked me through, did an exercise with me, and then I have to practice that every day, right? Because there's a certain way I need to create a new neural pathway, new automatic behavior that I will be able to trigger when I go on stage. And that is part of coaching, preparing you for the situations that will come. No, if anybody's promising you will never get stressed out, that's BS. If anybody's saying you will never be down, that's BS. You will, and you have to, because being human is having the whole human experience.
Yes.
But how long are you going to stay there? That's the question. And can you get yourself out?
You can't get
if
into
it's over a couple of days, I'd say you have a problem.
Sometimes it's even over a day. And it's not a problem. It's just lack of skills, lack of training,
Yes.
lack of everything. So today with my daughter, we're in Costa Rica. I'm getting my dental work and everything else. And we went for a hike and they go, oh, it's a very easy hike. It was 9 miles up the hill and it showed that I went 49 flights of stairs and it was like 89 Fahrenheit. And I was exhausted and I walked down, I'm like, you guys said this was easy. They go, yeah. And then I realized that when we speak from our world. And I forgot that even as a coach, for them, if they practice that daily, for them, that is easy.
Mhm.
And easy according to whom, right? And if it's simple, okay, compared to what? Because if you're like, I do move a lot, but I don't climb mountains in 89 Fahrenheit and it's not 47 flights of stairs. I walk in
Yeah.
Houston where it's pretty flat. And I do
Yes.
that 10 miles. We're good. But compared to that, I was not good.
If we take a moment, I got a few questions for you that
Please.
I had prepared. And we talked about brain optimization. So
Yes.
what's a short exercise that I or anybody listening can do to kind of optimize their brain?
Right. So I'm going to be very boring at this moment. I'm going to say go and exercise for 10 minutes, just 10 minutes outside in the morning.
Okay.
It's very important that it's in the morning. It's not in the afternoon. And it really doesn't matter. It can be really a walk for 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
And when you also wake up, instead of coffee, instead of anything, you do have a big glass of water.
Okay.
Especially if you have problems waking up in the morning, and drink that glass of water. I can guarantee you that if you wake up in the morning and instead of snooze button, drink that glass of water, you will wake up way quicker, much more refreshed, and much more aware than going outside, taking a walk for 10 minutes outside in the morning. It is where you're absorbing the most vitamin D3, which is actually a hormone. I don't know why we call it a vitamin. It is a hormone. So those are the basic things you can do. Another crucial thing that literally, there's a phenomenal study, I think it's from 1987, done on 2,000 soldiers. And what they did, they took 2,000 soldiers and for 2 weeks, they slept 8 hours. And then they went to a shooting range and they would shoot. 97.5 accuracy. Awesome. Then they switched it to 6 hours. Their accuracy after 2 weeks of sleeping of 6 hours dropped down, if I'm not lying, to 68%. Then,
Wow.
and you can online, that's not it. Keep going. They went down to 5 hours and it was 48, and then went down to 4 hours, it was 27. Your sleep is the best natural resource for optimizing. Also, no blue light, no phone, no computers, no TV in the bedroom for 2 hours before you go to sleep. Why? Because your circadian rhythm is not recognizing the difference between daylight and blue light, and it's sending you awake hormones. That's why you can't fall asleep. So if you want to optimize your brain with spending zero money, that's what you do. And I guarantee the quality of your sleep and stress and thinking and creativity will go up. And
so 2 hours before I go to bed, read a book.
Absolutely. Go for a walk, read a book, talk, at candlelight, drinking light tea or whatever else you want to drink. Don't drink coffee before you go to bed. Although not everybody reacts to coffee the same, but as a general rule, right? Enjoy a book. I don't know, clean up something, put papers together, whatever that is. No TV, no phone, no scrolling, no computers 2 hours before bedtime. And it would be amazing if the TV could be out of the bedroom, which in America is almost impossible. I haven't had a TV in 24 years. I don't own a TV at all, nowhere in my house. So I don't have that problem. But when my friends come over, they go, Oh my God, you don't have a TV. Look, I have 7 and I have 1 extra in another room. I can give it to you. I'm like, I don't want one. I'm good. So that's the first thing. And sleep is so, so important. You guys can check the sleep study on soldiers in America from, I believe it's 1987. It just shows how your brain functions when it's deprived of sleep. And I understand that war times are different, but we're not in
Mhm.
wartime most of the time at home. And we do need to take care of the most important part of your body, which is your brain.
Okay. All right. Another question. We're going to keep rolling here with some questions. How do
Let's
you
go.
get rid of the fear of rejection, failure, imposter syndrome, you know, all those fears that I'm not going to say everybody has in the back of their mind, just some of the
Everybody
fears
does.
that some folks might have in the back of their
Everybody does.
mind. How do you get rid of those?
Well, it's a process. It takes time and it takes realization that very often. So when you go to office, I even wrote a pretty cool article. It was quite often shared on LinkedIn and it was in a magazine. So imposter syndrome, especially, it is that you are comparing yourself to people that you don't know their path from a period of time that you see at the moment. So, for example, you see them at this moment, I don't know, typing 55 words a minute. What your brain misses because it generalizes and it does that to conserve energy is that to get to 55 words a minute, they've worked for 35 years typing every day. And you go, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Well, you just started a year ago and you forget to add that into the mix. So one of the things it's important and it takes a while to relearn is compare self to others for possibilities and self to self for progress. So what I want you to do every day is see how much better am I compared to yesterday and celebrate the living crap out of it. Why? Because that's when you release serotonin, not dopamine, but serotonin. Serotonin is a joyful chemical that you release when you're happy that also has the element of activity where you want it more. Dopamine is the chemical when you're sitting with your loved one and you put your hand over and you're like, I'm so happy. Let's Netflix and chill, right? That's a different happy chemical. We want the serotonin in that case. So, self to self for progress, self to others for inspiration. And number 2, celebration. Celebration creates a new approach in your brain where your brain goes, this feels good. I want to do it again. And when you keep the big goals and wherever you're going far away, visible, but not on a daily basis in front of you, and you start enjoying the process, this is one of the best remedies. And there's a huge Stanford study on giving feedback and enjoying the process and looking into overcoming obstacles and celebration and praising yourself or somebody you love for overcoming, not for achieving. So even when somebody wins the race, you don't go, oh, I knew you're so awesome. You're going to win. You're the best. You're fantastic. No, you go, hey, it was amazing when you didn't feel like getting up and you got up. I was so proud of you.
Okay.
The switch is very, very specific. But that's one of the remedies for imposter syndrome, fear of failure, fear of success. Now, it's when I was a young mom, my daughters are 24 now, so they're out of the house. Um, I used to naturally talk about everything that went well.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out that my daughters were feeling like they could never measure up. And I'm like, what are you measuring up for? I'm 24 years older than you are. You're 8. Like, what are we talking about? But their head created, oh my God, she's doing all those things. She's always successful. And at that time, I was not a brain coach. I was not a neuroencoding specialist. I was a coach, but a career coach. So very different part of my life. And I went to a good coach that was also a psychologist. And I'm like, okay, so this is what I have. And she goes, how often do you sit down and celebrate when you messed up? What are you talking about? Why would I celebrate when I messed up? Okay, did you learn something? Well, yeah. Okay. So I want you once a week or twice a week, sit at a table when you guys are eating dinner and start talking about everything you messed up this week. Things that didn't go your way, things that you didn't finish on time, things that you missed deadlines, anything that you messed up. I'm like, okay. See, we seem to be projecting in our families, on social media, and our daily lives, even at our work, only successes. And when something goes wrong, we blow it out of proportion. But if we make it a daily thing and a learning experience, and again, that takes time, rewiring, retraining yourself to look at it differently. It's okay to feel unhappy with the result. And it's also okay going, well, yeah. I mean, the truth is, you survived 100% of bad times so far. You're doing pretty awesome.
Okay. All right. I kind of look at it kind of every now and then. You got to embrace your failure every now and then.
It's not a failure. It's a learning. The only time
Okay.
we
Yeah, we'll go with
fail is
that.
when we die. That's the only time we cannot change anything.
It's a learning experience.
Yep. It's a learning. And and it's fun because I mean, come on. When you messed up like in your past, don't you tell this very often as funny stories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
So keep it that way. Just don't wait many years to tell
All
a
the
story
time.
that's funny, right? Implement that immediately when it happens,
Okay.
not 20 years later.
Okay.
Like me,
All right.
the law was right
All right.
about the hike. That was stupid.
Well, all right. I'm going to put your website up across the bottom here in case any of our viewers want to reach out and get in touch with you. I take it that's the best way to reach out to you.
So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn under Your Brain Coach D. That's my handle everywhere. And also you can go to Amazon, and if you're experiencing overwhelm, stress, and anxiety, there's a very small 64 pages book with exercises and practical things that can literally change your life, where you can learn to enjoy life and still be successful without the overwhelm and stress. And it's called How to Dream Big, Act Small, and Achieve Success. And it's for people who get overwhelmed. That's why it's 64 pages.
So that means somebody like me would read it, because I'm not a big book reader.
All right. So before we take off, I know you talked about a lot of things here. Can you give 3 top things out of all the stuff that we discussed? 3 things out of all the things that we discussed, and we talked about a lot of good stuff that, a layperson, like somebody who's listening, can do to kind of help themselves a little bit before, if they're thinking, man, I need to get some help, I need to do this, I need to do that. And, well, you covered a few of them in the brain optimization. You can hit those again, but 3 things that you could share with our viewers that can put them on the path to success with optimizing, and if they're in a funk, kind of getting them out of that funk and getting around some of this stuff.
Well, the bad news and the good news is that nobody's coming to save you, so you got to do it yourself. So number 1, the sooner you name things that are bothering you and are not allowing you to live the way you want to, the sooner you'll be able to get rid of them. 2, find the best way that works for you. Meaning, coach, psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, friends are not there to bear your burden, and they're not trained to help you. They're your support system, and treat them as such. Next, make sure your blood work and your labs are good in the optimum levels, and you sleep. You sleep multiples of 3.5 hours. So Perfect sleep time would be 7 hours. And then after 7 would be 10 and a half. So 7 probably would be the optimum for most people. And I would say these are the basic things. Now, there's so many other things. If you eat junk food, you eat junk food, and there are not many nutrients to help you, right? Your brain is literally the CEO of your life. What you're feeling, what you're doing, how you're acting, how you're reacting. PTSD, we literally have scans of PTSD in the brain, how it's lit up and overreacting. Guess what? At least 70% success rate is EMDR. Those are 12 sessions. 12. And you can reduce your PTSD. I mean, you can keep living with it, but why?
Okay.
I mean, there's so many things we can do right now. We have so much knowledge. And the only thing that separates those who actually get a better life from those who don't is that those who get a better life take activity daily, not action. Action is one-time spur of the moment thing. Activity daily to improve their lives, and they change their habits.
Okay.
So
All right.
3, right?
All right. I think it's great advice. I mean, I know personally, I feel better if I'm active, and not, sitting on the couch or, doing whatever. Yeah. The more active I am, the
Or in
better
the
I
chat
feel.
room.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are that way. So
Right.
that's very good advice. That's about all I have. Stephen, you got anything?
I just want to say thank you for coming on and enlightening me for a lot of things.
Yes.
Well, it
Yes,
was my
it was very enlightening. And
life is exactly
you
what
said,
we're there to make it.
yes. And you said, well, you're in Costa Rica right now?
Yes, I am. I am because I have found that unfortunately, due to me being epileptic and having for years and years since I was a little kid taking medication, I have very weak teeth. And when it came to creating 3 or 4 implants in my mouth, my lovely, wonderful country and the lovely, wonderful dentists said $38,000. And I went, oh crap, that's like more than I mean, I already have a Mercedes in my mouth. I don't want another Mercedes. So I became resourceful. I'm like, okay, well, I'm Polish, right? All over the world, people walk with their teeth. That means there are good dentists outside of US. So let's look. And I started searching, and I found through a friend who goes here. She recommended them. I came in, had a first surgery 6 months ago, and now I'm just getting the implants, and I'm going to have again all my teeth back with implants. And the total cost, instead of 38,000, is going to be 10,000 with flights and hotels.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. Good for you. That's amazing. And yeah, that's amazing. That was better than my Costa Rica story. I got to travel down there for work one time in the 90s. I love it down there. It is beautiful and and the people are just amazing. And I have a little advice for you tomorrow. Only do 45 flights of stairs
Um,
on your hike. Don't
well,
try 47 again. Only do 45.
if I get up tomorrow, I'll let you know tomorrow if I even got up, okay? Because I like walking, but I haven't done something like this in a long, long time.
Well, okay. Well, hey, we are going to get off of here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the great advice to all our listeners out there. thank you for checking in. Remember that I don't know what to remember, but just
It's
we're looking
recorded.
forward to seeing you next time.
Take notes, and take what works for you.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you for coming
Good advice.
in, and
Listen,
you have a
take
great
notes,
night.
and do what works for you. All right. We'll see y'all. Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great night.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the MisFitNation Show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.